Brawl news. Quickly, before we get into anything, of course, YouTuber things every now and again. If you guys enjoy these types of videos or you enjoy any of my other content, it would really go a long way if you consider subscribing. We got 23.4% subscribed and 76.7% not subscribed. Be one of those subscribed. Also, just want to give a quick thank you to all you guys. Right now, Brawl Stars is a little bit on the slower side of things. So you guys have been watching my videos, enjoying them, coming back. Really do appreciate you guys. You're all amazing. So I'm not gonna lie, this episode of Brawl News, we got a lot of very important stuff to get into, dude, as we're getting closer to this next update. It's time to lock in, things are getting exciting, but kicking things off with a retweet over here on the Brawl Stars social medias, Twitter specifically, alerting all of us that there is a significant rework coming to the Matcherino tournaments and new pins are involved. I'm not 100% certain if we ended up bringing this up in a recent Brawl News episode. I know I talked about it, don't know if I deleted it in the video or whatnot, but basically these new Matcherino pins were in the Supercell fan kit, so it made people kind of think that maybe some changes were going to come, or maybe these spike Matcherino pins that are really sought after will turn into very limited pins in the future, which it looks like that's going to be the case. As you can see here, last chance to get the spike winners pin. The spikes winners pin will only stay for just 2 more weeks starting July 1st. A brand new winners pin will be introduced and it's here to stay. Very nerve-wracking, dude, especially if exclusivity on these pins and cosmetics are really important. Let me know if you guys are interested. I think I'm going to seriously try to get that winner's pin of the Spike Matcherino just because it's so exclusive, though it's very, very difficult. But yeah, if you guys want to read up, if any of this is important to you, you guys want to know what's changing, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. But now that we got kind of the smaller stuff out of the way, it's now time to transition our attention to more update-related content. In a most recent episode that we made here on the channel, we had discussed when the next Brawl Talk is going to be, and it's getting here very, very fast. It's going to be on June 21st, and it's the 17th at the point that I'm recording this video. This weekend, people, this weekend. So with that in mind, what else has been popping up in terms of potential Easter eggs or sneak peeks for this next update? What are people talking about? The very first thing I wanted to bring up here that I found was really, really interesting and kind of got me back on this line of trying to take deep dives into any other information that might be out there, which we did stumble across a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned. But we have this user notifying me that he was sent a survey. If you guys don't know, the Brawl Stars dev team sometimes sends out surveys to sprinkled amount of individuals out there in the community. And in the past, it's given us really, really good information as to what updates could be coming around the corner, like brawlers, skins, themes, and whatnot. I don't know if this survey is as crazy as some of the past ones, but it's still really, really interesting. So basically in the survey, it's gauging interest in different update features that could come around in the future. I'm guessing based on interest, they would more than likely implement them based on past surveys and what has come in the future since then. But the very first one, we have more social features to play or interact with others, clans, voice chat. Hopefully they don't do voice chat. That'd be crazy. The next one, more background stories about the universe or brawlers. So maybe more lore related things might be a focus in the future. This one is probably the most exciting to me, the third one, and made me want to bring this up in the video. The ability to create your own game modes and maps for the game. We're getting into like map maker territory in this type of question, if you ask me, but the most exciting thing is the fact that they are tinkering with the idea of maybe being able to create our own game modes. That further like functionality on top of map maker would be insane. I've said this so many times now, but the moment they rework or make like significant changes to map maker will really, really change the game in terms of popularity. If you guys were around during the time when map maker first came out, you know exactly what I'm saying. It was a huge feature. So many people enjoyed it. So we'll see what ends up happening. But moving on here, new game modes, example 5-on-5, pretty exciting. More collaborations with other games, movies, animes, etc. like that. More seasonal or themed events. I would not complain about that. Most of the time it comes with like some goodies, right? Some freebies. And then finally, more ways to raise resources for brawler upgrades or skills. Another great one, dude. So yeah, whenever these surveys come around, it's so awesome when, if you guys get them, share them to the community. It's a great way to get an idea as to what the Brawl Stars dev team might be focusing for future updates around the corner. A lot of exciting stuff here. And while we're on the topic of surveys, it gives us a nice, perfect transition into a past survey that we had that still could have ramifications for this next update around the corner. This was probably, I would say, like one of, if not the biggest update survey that came out a while ago, but it gave us so much mileage. Basically, the dev team was gauging our interest on different themes for future updates, a lot of which have already come to the game since this thing has been out there. Feudal Japan literally just came off it, the very first one. We got medieval fantasy, zodiac, mythology, baby brawlers, very interesting. Food themed, I think that has a lot of potential. Superhero inspired, hip hop, street vibes, Egyptian mythology, spectral dark knights, national football soccer teams, interesting. K-pop, and 3 kingdoms. Now, one thing that I do want to point out about this before we go further on in the video, whenever it comes to like trying to find Easter eggs for future updates, I do it a lot, right? I enjoy doing that stuff for these types of videos. But one thing I think is important to keep in mind when it comes to predicting future themes that might come out is a lot of the time the dev team designs themes around skin sets. It seems like the dev team likes to have places, like established areas within Star Park for these skins to live and exist in the overall universe of Brawl Stars. Like, of course, K-pop, when Melody first came out, now with Jae Young coming to the game, having more like themes that make sense for them to like live there. And you'll see that as well with like the actual inspirations of these. For example, food theme to give Dumpling Daryl, Burger Lou a place within Brawl Stars, right? Feudal Japan giving all these skins a place and like an area like with the update theme. And with that, for example, there's a lot of skins in the game right now that don't necessarily have like a theme that has been made for an update. They're just kind of like in limbo. So a lot of the time with that information, you can kind of see like a future update stemming from that. One thing I think is really interesting that might have some potential for maybe the next update, and we'll get into it, is this medieval fantasy, knights, dragons, elves, and wizards, because I have a feeling that potentially Draco's family will be getting a 3rd member, and I'll get into why. What do you know? Once again, talking about this dang sheep profile icon. You guys, this has caused me so much mental anguish, I cannot even tell you, my goodness. But if you didn't know, catch you guys up to speed, this is the sneak peek, or theorized to be the sneak peek profile icon, an ongoing practice that the dev team has been doing. When new seasons come out, there's always one profile icon in the mix that gets released into the game and the fan kit that has no real explanation to it, but then we later find out it has everything to do with the next update. A fun sneak peek. Now, the reason this one is such a headache is because all the other profile icons leading up to this was a bit easier to try to translate to what the next update might be. Just having a sheep here doesn't give us much, but there has been some new theories and new fun things that people have been going with. And again, speculation and Easter eggs can really only take you so far. To be honest, the dev team has been doing a much better job at keeping all these like sneak peeks and stuff like that a little bit more closely guarded. So with that in mind, there's been a bit more revelations here, or new theories centralized around this thing. And in my opinion, there's kind of 2 schools of thought. Since in this next update, there's supposed to be a collab coming, confirmed by Frank in that roadmap here, some people think that this profile icon is an indicator for that collab. And believe it or not, the most popular collab that I've been seeing is Shaun the Sheep. Something I didn't even really know up until I heard it. It's like a cartoon or something like that. It's like this guy, which I don't know if it has that much merit. I think that Frank said that it would be like a pretty dang big collab. And I don't know if this is like, well, super well known. Like, I'm not trying to diss it or anything like that, but let's compare it to like SpongeBob. You know, SpongeBob has so much more reach than Shaun the Sheep. I'll just say it. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just sleeping on Shaun the Sheep. But the other school of thought, and the one that I am most definitely leaning towards, and I'll say I am in this group, right? I don't think Shaun the Sheep is being sneak peeked here, but a lot of people are thinking that it's just a little indicator as to what the overall update theme might be. Something like maybe a farming theme of some sort, maybe animals in the picture, which I think makes a ton of sense. I swear to you guys, if it's Shaun the Sheep, I will eat my words, but I really don't think the dev team would ever sneak peek a collab. They kind of want it to be organized. Collabs are important between 2 companies. They wouldn't give a sneak peek of the collab itself, I don't think. I guess they did it for Toy Story a little bit, but you guys get my drift. You guys get what I'm saying. Now, keeping along that same line, maybe some sort of like farming inference, farming theme, wildlife, animals, and as to why people are speculating a brawler might be fitting into the Draco family and finishing, wrapping up that family, rounding it out, can be found in a fun little detail from the Dragon Force music video when Draco was being released. In a part towards the beginning, really bizarre and like not making a lot of sense, we have Draco coming out here to a group of sheep that look very similar to that sheep in the profile icon. I've seen a lot of people dismissing the sheep profile icon for a sneak peek at all, saying like it's probably tied to the BB Bo Peep skin, but seeing that she already has a profile icon, I think it means a bit more than that. And I think these sheeps resemble that sheep a bit more. And if we're trying to make some of these Easter eggs like as hard as possible to find, I think some funny little like detail like this could be something that Brawl Stars would tie it to, right? Like it's so random. Hear his mighty words, and with his axe of power, the strength to lead 1,000 herds, with sheep here. Also in the background, like a farm, I think. Kind of cool. A new interesting detail added to all of this. So seeing that this could be an inference to that sheep profile icon, it might be a call out to maybe Draco's trio getting a family member. Also, I combed through the rest of the video, not a word or a mention or anything else significant about a herd of sheep. It's just that one inference. Super strange. It got me thinking, what's the significance behind sheep in terms of like medieval or like knights and dragons, and I couldn't come up with much. I think it might just be a cheeky little Easter egg that the dev team were like, no one's gonna remember these sheep here. We'll just make a sheep profile icon for the sneak peek. I'm just kind of speculating here. Now, adding to this whole animal vibe with the sheep and like a farm type beat for the theme, Dandy ended up bringing up a really interesting point. As we had mentioned about that second survey, it's pretty obvious that the dev team designs updates around skins, the themes of skins, right? So they have a place within the Brawl Stars universe. But if skins already exist in the game and don't have like a flushed out area, sometimes updates can come out to give that area a spot in Star Park, let's just call it. And we do have a skin theme that doesn't necessarily have that treatment just yet. We have the Animal Kingdom, so maybe some sort of like farming update or animal skin update, I don't know. Could be a call out to that, seeing that we have that sheep profile icon. And I guess the only other thing that also could be adding to this whole narrative of like a farming animal type beat, I've seen pop up a little bit in conversation throughout the community. This loading screen we can see in the background on the TV, like a wide open landscape, right? Like grassy plains and mountains in the background, could be something related to like farms or that vibe, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just regurgitating what people are saying in the community or what I've been seeing. So I guess 3 loose things pointing to maybe some sort of farming type theme update. I think it's fun to think about. That aside, I don't know how that would relate to Draco and why he would be getting a 3rd member. I don't know if it even would have to relate to it, right? But now that we have that out of the way, we have 2 fun speculations of brawler trios here, with the Swamp of Love trio possibly getting a new brawler, which we had mentioned in an earlier Brawl News episode, and now a potential Draco family member coming into the mix. It's kind of out there if you ask me, but to be honest, we really don't have much to go off of, so we kind of gotta grasp at straws here if we do want to speculate, which I try to do with every update. So we'll see if it ends up coming true, and I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop if we do get any further information as we get closer and closer to that Brawl Talk this weekend. Now, the final thing I wanted to get into here in this episode today, again, staying on that line of potential things coming out in this next update, there was a really interesting, I think, unintentional event that came out in Brawl Stars. Taking a look at a tweet from Chosen here, if you guys didn't catch it when it was in game, there was a Hypercharged Unleash event icon in the game mode tab, which is really crazy. As you can see, shortly after that, it was removed. What that means, I'm not quite sure, but it's really interesting. It had been theorized that we could be getting some sort of significant Hypercharged event in this update, seeing that the Brawl Stars dev team wanted to have every single brawler have their Hypercharged by this update, and there's a lot left to be had, so maybe a significant event where they're releasing like a copious amount of hypercharges, and maybe to kind of add hype to that event, maybe a Hypercharged Unleashed event, who knows. But I wanted to bring this up, seeing that it was quite odd and could pertain to the next update. But yeah, that's just about all I got for you guys here in this episode. If y'all have any ideas or theories about what we discussed in this episode, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and again, I'll keep you guys up to date with more stuff if we do get anything else. Sneak peeks and fun stuff are going to be right around the corner here this week soon. But thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Adios and take care.